I knew that would
What's
happen.
up? Man, we're all over the place, huh?
We are all over the place, and I guess more importantly, we are in the pre-show, and the pre-show is all covered up. There we go.
There we go. So I'm just trying to check where we're at. Make sure we're live everywhere that we're supposed to be live.
That's very important. So I want to say hello to everybody. So the stream show is now live. I just got the notice from Facebook saying that we were.
All right, let me check that real quick. I didn't get that notification.
So I want to say hello to everybody. I really need to get some music going here because Brant really should be dancing right now. There's no need for him to just sit here and look for stuff. We should have him dancing.
Hey, we are there.
You think so?
I don't dance.
You make money moves, right?
That's right. Making the money moves. We are live on the Facebooks and the YouTube, so I see it.
I want to send a shout out to all the fans of DMX. It's everywhere right now. Of course, we give homage to people and their art after they pass, and I'm one of those kind of people, man. I really like to give people roses and flowers while they're alive. But that being said,
I am a big DMX fan. Like, one of my favorite videos of all time is We Don't Know Who We Be. The way that was filmed, there was like a bunch of graphics and words, and just like, if I could make a music video, I was like, I would make that music video. So it's great. Michelle is here.
Oh, shouts out to Michelle. Shouts out to my man Melvin Miller. He wants you to dance, Brant. Dance, I say. Hello from the Stream Show. Listen, if you guys are watching, I don't know, what do you think? The best place I think to watch is on YouTube. Only because we can curate the message. We can see the chats a little better over there on YouTube. And they keep better records for monetizations in the future. Billy, shouts out to you, sir. Right now, we got Brant Collins dancing, so enjoy the music and enjoy Brant Collins doing his thing.
One of these days, we're going to get Strick to dance.
One of these days. I remember being a kid who used to dance a lot.
Then you grew up, right? Your leg's too cool.
Then I'm just way too cool for that. Then I'm way too cool. Thanks for watching on YouTube, Billy. We got a great show lined up for you today, but more importantly, Brent, I want to know about your week, man. How was your week?
Well, I got my shot Friday, my second shot. So I get the second Pfizer
got
shot.
And neutered. So not that kind of shot.
No. I'm a little tired tonight from the vaccine, but we're making it happen. So work was crazy this week. Things are starting to pick back up. I picked up some consulting gigs and trying to get that done with my regular job. How about you?
So I actually had my second vaccine a couple of weeks ago. And I will agree, it did slow me down for a couple of days, more just tireder in the afternoons, like you're saying. But It was great. I'm waiting now because my wife, she's got some stuff that she wants to do. Big shouts out to you, Richard. Thanks for hanging out with us today. All right. And Michelle is saying shouts out to the fully vaccinated. I'm one of those people as well with Brent. Now, we can go all over the place. You can see the stream guys in person one of these days and be safe.
Yep, that's our goal. So if you're out there and you need a couple of MCs for your streaming event, as conferences start coming around, you call us. We're ready. We're ready to go. We're vaccinated. We're ready to travel.
Especially if you're in California like Mr. Rowley, Thank you that you got your second shot. Oh, he's getting it tomorrow. Get it tomorrow. And don't be crying about how your arm feels after the shot. My arm hurts. Come on, man. Everybody's arm hurts after the shot. All right.
And I think Mr. Riley's in L.A., isn't he? Because like my best friend that I grew up with, my best friend ever lives in L.A., and I still haven't been out there to visit him. So if I get to go out there and visit him, I'll have to shout out to Mr. Riley.
Definitely. I mean, I've been out there once. I've been to California once, and it's about to go down.
1.
Lights, camera, action. Join the stream team with Strick and Brant and be a part of the Stream Network. Our goal is really simple. We're here to help you succeed. Yes, we are the Stream Guys, and you are on the Stream Show with Brant and Strick, and we're so happy to have you here. Our goal is really simple. We're here to help you succeed. And Brent, we got a great day lined up for everybody that's watching today. So I want everybody to kind of buckle in because they're going to get a full dose of Brent Collins.
And they're going to get a full dose of DJ Strick as well because, man, after the Michael Jackson 9,000 subscribers, tell us a little bit about how that has affected the growth of your channel, Strick City Live.
That's a good question. So for people that don't know, I had for the second time a gentleman by the name of Greg Fillinganes, and it was a partnership that I've had with Dr. Henry Panion of UAB and the UAB Music Department. Greg Fillinganes was a virtual visiting professor for the school, and the school wanted to use my show that I do on Thursday nights as a vehicle to kind of stream the virtual meeting with Greg Fillinganes. And the last meeting that we had a couple Thursdays ago, it was geared towards his experience or his life as Michael Jackson's MD. He actually did 2 of the tours for Michael Jackson and several other things that he had a chance to work with Michael Jackson and Quincy Jones and Paul McCartney. I mean, the guy was the keyboard player of keyboard players at that time. And not only that, he was he had a CD himself. So he was full of energy, full of stories, and he shared some really, really great stories. He even told the story about a conversation he had with Michael Jackson about Prince. Now, Brant, yeah.
I didn't hear that, so I'm a big Prince fan.
Well, you got to go watch the video, all right?
I will go watch it.
So youtube.com Strick City 01 is the page, and you can watch. The title was The Life of Michael Jackson's Musical Director. And
so one of the things that surprised me the most is I know you were texting me during the show saying like 2,000 people were viewing it live, but that next day I went to check and I think it was $9,000 or something. I mean $9K. It was huge. Do you? Was it the content? Was it the tags? Was it just Michael Jackson and the tags? What do you think grew that? And have you seen any lift after that?
So good question. And I don't know automatically how they got there. I'm still trying to decipher the data. I will tell you this. I actually, the day before, I went into Restream and actually made an event. All right, and that event was shared from the university, from my co-host, Dr. Henry Payne. So they shared that event and along with me sharing the event. But the traffic came from those shares, but they all went to YouTube. Of course, you could watch it on Facebook, a couple of channels on Facebook, but YouTube got 95% of the traffic. And I'm thinking because of the title, Michael Jackson, I actually had people waiting on me. And what do you mean by that? I had someone subscribe to my channel early on that day. All right. So for however they got information through YouTube, it was out there and someone shared it on Reddit. That really could be.
There you go. That's a big deal.
Another place that could have helped. So inside of a Reddit community, they shared it. It was shared several times in the community on Twitter. This is me going back trying to figure out how these people found out about the show because they knew about it before we even started. Once we got started, maybe like a minute or so late, and they were like, finally, you got here. They were really, really waiting on it. And the comments that night, like everybody was in the comments. I was very, very much so humbled by the experience. I had Greg Fillinganes on before, and we had a great conversation, but it was more about him and all of his work. But when we focused on just his work with Michael Jackson, it just really, really exploded. So,
and that's
over 11,000 views right now.
Well, we'll check in with you next week. and
I
see
know
what
it.
it is.
See what it is. So I've done all I could do. I went through TubeBuddy and did everything I could possibly do. I do have maybe one or two things. Well, the last thing I'm going to do is put it in a playlist. So inside of our that particular interview, we talked about several different things. I told you about Prince. We talked about Quincy Jones. We talked about some of the tour dates. So I'm going to put those things in a playlist that people could see. So they can go from 1, 2, 3. So where do we get this information from? Here's the video where Prince talks about Michael Jackson. Here's the video of what Michael Jackson saw Prince. All that kind of stuff will be like in
I'm anxious to see that. So because I'm a big Michael Jackson fan. I'm probably a bigger Prince fan. So like I'll have to dig up some pictures. I'll share them later. I was in Minneapolis for a trade show, and I had to go over to the actual club that he played in where they filmed Purple Rain. Took my picture in front of the star with Prince. I wanted to go see the music, or Paisley Park, but I wasn't able to get to do that. But and then second 2 degrees of separation from Prince. I don't know if you're familiar with the joke that Dave Chappelle says about Prince, and Prince could play basketball and all that stuff. But I actually got to meet Dave Chappelle and sit down and talk with him for about 15, 20 minutes. And
that's cool.
Wasn't able, it was in a situation where I wasn't doing selfies. It was a long time ago. It was just when he came back from Africa and he was kind of restarting his career, and he was just a super cool dude. So, 2 degrees or 1 degree separation from Prince there. So that was cool.
So I did see Eddie Murphy talked about that time playing basketball with Prince, and he said that he really can play. So
yeah, that's what they said. He could really, really play. So
who knew? Who knew?
Nope.
Wayne, man, thank you for the compliment. Thank you for checking us out. Everybody else, if you're on, we would love to be able to communicate with you. So hit us up in the comments tonight. And we have a couple things we want to talk about to help you. So, Brant and I, we want to bring value. Like, our goals is to really help you succeed. If you're a streamer, if you are getting online for whatever reason, whether it's for work, whether it's for your business, whether you are a service person and you want to do how-to videos to drum up business, guess what? What we're talking about tonight will help you level up or give you a better idea of how to use equipment to make sure that you're doing the very best you can in presenting yourself online. So the first thing we're going to talk about is microphones. So there's so many different microphones you can use. Brant, help me out. Is there one that's better than all the others?
No. And so what a lot of times, like we talked about this before show, is a lot of people say, well, I don't want to see the mic. I want to see the mic. Should I use a shotgun mic? Should I use a lapel mic? There's all different microphones for different situations. If you come from broadcast or film like I do, you're doing an interview, you're doing a movie, you don't want to see the microphone. If you're a DJ, you're probably used to seeing the microphone. So we can, we're lucky enough to have Shure as a sponsor, and we got these great MV7s, which I think are great. It's like the perfect microphone for what we do. USB, XLR, you got a lot of choice. But one of the things we can show the difference is I pulled this out. This is an old microphone that I've had forever. This is a Sony wired lapel. It actually uses a AA battery to give it power. And I just put it in the XLR into my Rodecaster here. So what I'll do is I'll switch to it real quick. And we'll put here, and you can hear the difference. All right, I'm going to mute this and bring up this mic. So stand by. Check. You still got me?
I do.
So that is from my lapel mic.
Wow.
So you might hear a difference. Does it sound bad? Does it sound?
So I hear a difference. It doesn't sound bad. I mean, you are going from the MV7 to a lapel mic. I do hear a little bit more of the room, but it still has great sound to it.
And you can see there's a difference between where it's located and how you speak into it, correct?
Right. The proximity.
So if you're right, proximity. If you're clipping it here, you want to make sure that it's where you can. But then again, if you're doing a news presentation, or a movie, you're probably wanting to try to hide that the best you can. Let's go back to the MV. And just to be clear, I'm processing both of these through the Rodecaster. I have the big bottom bass kind of,
Brant, Richard has a question for you. Brant,
yep.
when you have them on, are you using the MV7 mic? Also, what settings are you using? You sound good for my choice.
All right.
And DJ, you sound good as well. Thank you for saying I sound good. I was about to be offended a little bit.
Let's talk about that a little bit. So what we're going to do here is we have the MV7. This is the microphone I'm using now, but I'm actually using it through the Rodecaster Pro. So what I'm going to do is I have audio processing on it. I'm going to turn off the processing. So I've got what's called big bottom bass. I try to, I want to sound a little bit more like Strick. You're the DJ, the deep voice. But I'm going to turn off processing, okay? And then we can see what it sounds like. There is probably what my real voice sounds like. It's probably a little, to me, it sounds higher. I know everyone sounds different to themselves, but it's a little higher, probably a little tinny sounding. Would you agree?
You lost about 10 pounds. Yes, sir.
Yeah, there we go. Now we're going to put processing on to here, and now we're with the processing. Does that sound better?
It does. It does.
There you go. So one of the things, here's the plus. I seen Richard asking, likes your sound EQ. So one thing I would ask Richard, do you have the Rodecaster Pro? So one of the things, the great thing about the Rodecaster Pro and the terrible thing about the Rodecaster Pro is it kind of is automatic. There's a few settings. It's not like a regular board. I say if I pull out my regular board, I have I start with a Behringer board where you can kind of tweak everything and I could give you some settings. But the Rodecaster has tried to make it kind of idiot proof, right? I mean, there are some, they have what's called Apex. They have an oral exciter, which I have turned on, the big bottom, and it's just sliders. So I don't even know what the number is. Well, no, I guess it's there. No, it just gives you a range, and I say it's at, the tune is at 11. So 111 hertz. The drive is at 81 and the mix is at 50. So if you have, but then I have everything turned on, right? I have oral exciter turned on, and big bottom. So the best thing I could do is tell you, Richard, is just to say, listen, I'm listening to the board. I don't listen to what's coming out of Ecamm or, the feed. I'm listening to the board. That's just a habit I like. And just tune it till you like what you like. On the MV7, there are no settings on my MV7 because I'm using an XLR. So when you use an XLR, you don't get all the settings to use the app or the, all the stuff that you would do if it was USB. So I'm sorry that I can't help you there. It is actually, once you go XLR, it's just an XLR microphone and it's up to the board and the other processing there. Which is why I like it the best, is because let's say you're a brand new streamer and you don't have all the equipment, sound is 95% of all this, right? And so you could get this microphone directly to USB and you're good to go. When you upgrade to a board, like say the Rodecaster Pro, now you can use XLR. So I love this microphone for that. And you might ask, why would you want to go with like the Rodecaster? It's because can have different inputs. I can have a guest, like we had our wives on. I was able to do 2 microphones. I do gaming on a PC, so that's coming in as a source. Plus you have these cool sound effects like clapping that you can use from a soundboard. So that's kind of changes the difference.
That's pretty cool. So, Brent, I know you have another mic you want to kind of display, which is a mic connected to your camera, right?
We can try that again. I don't know could you hear it last time? Let's see real quick. Let me try this.
So I want to give people an idea. So as you're thinking about, no matter what level you are on, again, if you're just using this for Zoom, for business or whatever, you want to try to use some type of external microphone. We've shown you the MV7, which is a USB mic, or you can use the, what's that called, XLR,
right,
to connect to an interface, or you can just use a USB to connect directly to your computer, and that will give you some additional settings for the MV7. Or you can use a lapel mic, and which I think is a cool option for people if you don't have these microphones, and it will still give you a pretty good sound.
Let me switch to this mic, and tell me if you can hear this.
Gotcha.
Can you hear me now? Check.
I can.
Check. All right. So how does that sound?
It doesn't sound like anything changed.
No. Here we go. I got to turn this one down. Hold on.
Now I can't hear you at all.
So I just don't have this set up right. So when you go, let me try here. Hold on. So here's the problem. I'm sorry, I can't do this for you right now. When you go into the interview mode, I can't. Every source looks like USB source. There's not 1, 2, or 3.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
It does.
So we'll go back to the Rodecaster here, but I actually have a Rode shotgun mic on the microphone that I use when I'm doing video production. And it said a lot about with video and audio and all this stuff is what's your use case. I think Strick and I have talked the last couple of days about you have a big event coming up, right? That you're trying to do, concert.
Right.
And we talked about the different, you might need the, lapel mic, the talent. You may have to have a shotgun mic. You might have to bring along something like a Zoom. I have a HN4 Zoom portable recorder to get backup audio just in case something screws up, right?
Right.
But most of the times I'll use a lapel mic if I'm out filming because I just be by myself. If you have an audio engineer with you and they can have a boom mic and keep it out of the shot, that's really great too. But one of the things that frustrates me is people get so wrapped up and I've seen wars on some of the groups that we're in about, should I see the mic? Should I not see the mic? Is it in the shot, on the shot? You know what? Here's my 100% fail-safe rule on whether the mic should be in the shot or not. You ready?
Yes.
It's up to you.
Love it.
Right?
Love it.
Because you might not want it in the shot.
Right.
Right? But you're a DJ. You're used to having the microphone.
I love to have a microphone.
And sure is a sponsor, so I can show it right here.
Right.
But if I put it down. Now, is it out of the shot? Can you hear it? Does it sound good?
It sounds different, of course, the proximity thing,
different.
but I can still hear you, yeah.
Yeah, and I could probably boost the gain a little bit, and you probably sound just as good, right? But same thing. We use. Hold on, let me see if I can find it here. So we've got the hiding earphones, so you don't see them in the shot. That's total broadcast, right? You don't want to see the headphones like this, but some people love headphones. Sure is a sponsor. They gave us these to test out, so we're testing them, and we appreciate them for that. But maybe you're a tech show and you want to show the tech that you have. A lot of people are into tech,
Right.
And I use mine today. They are noise canceling Bluetooth. So I was mowing the lawn on my riding lawnmower and listening to Patrick Flynn's book, and they sounded great. I could hear it over the lawnmower. The only problem is you sweat. They're a little hot, but they're great microphones or headphones. I'm sorry.
So I like the headphones, and we're going to get a chance to do a product review on these headphones really soon. That being said, I do want to say this. Shouts out to you, Alicia Way, for hanging out with us today. We are live, and I have Mr. Riley, who says his Samsung Q2U is his entry-level mic that he's using. Now, you can call it an entry-level mic. That is a great microphone as well.
That's a go-to microphone for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You can use a lot. Like I have over here. I've had this for years. This is a Sennheiser E835. So this is a Sennheiser. It actually has a wireless device that goes on the bottom that went with my wireless set. So I could do a wireless set. But it's XLR, so I could use it on the set here. So I love microphones that have 2 or 3 different use cases. This just helps you save money. I'm a big Rode fan. I have the older Rode wireless that I rave about. I have Sennheiser wireless that I've had for probably 10 years. They're like battle tested. I'd love to do the wireless Go 2. So if Rode's listening, send some. We'll test them. But it's all about use case. It's
Right.
How are you going to, what are you doing with it? So I think a lot of times I get frustrated with tech channels and review channels, and this is the best camera and this is the best microphone. Where are you shooting? What are you doing? Is it need to go on a drone? Is it in the winter? Is it,
Right.
is it on like I've done shoots with motorcycles where my wife was hanging out of the back of a car, and so there's
That's
all these
right.
different use cases that you have to really think about.
So I think my next try, Brant, for a microphone is a shotgun microphone, just to test out with my setup. Anything that you would recommend?
Rode is the best microphones for a budget. So I mean, they make great microphones. I have not used the pod mic that's $99, but I wouldn't be afraid to use it. I have the Rode shotgun mic right now that I love. Sennheiser is kind of a standard in the film production industry. So is Audio Technica, but you can go up to $1,000 for a shotgun microphone. So
Gotcha.
you really have to think about your budget, and what you're wanting to get out of that. And do you need, one of the things you need to think about, does it have what's called a dead cat or a blimp on it to get, wind noise out of it? And it's still a proximity thing, right? I don't think that anybody's too far away from, like, I can almost touch my camera. So shotgun mic would be good. I know you've got that fancy Sigma lens, right? So it's probably,
I do. It's really close.
You could touch the camera, right?
I can.
So shotgun mic would be great for that. And lapel. I think we're watching, Keith was up talking about his stand-up set. If you want to stand up and move around, maybe a lapel is the best thing.
Right.
It really just has to, what is the brand or the image that you're wanting to portray, right?
Gotcha. So
This tells me we're DJs and we're streamers.
Yeah, I know it, right? So gamers, DJs, they use these headphones. So my man Richard asks us, what model headphones are these that we have on right now? Do you remember, Brant, what model this is?
I got to get the number. Yeah, hold on.
It's 50.
These
I know the
are.
number's 50.
Yeah, it is. We're supposed to have they're supposed to give us a link so we could share that. Let me look it up real quick. It doesn't even say it in the manual. It is a 50. Oh, here, I got the box. Hey. The Aonic 50.
Yeah.
So the Aonic 50. They are Bluetooth. They are rechargeable. They actually have the wired set. So I'm actually wired into the board right now, and I think Strict is, you're doing Bluetooth, right?
I'm doing Bluetooth.
And then comes in this nice case. So you have a nice case to carry them and put them in your backpack. Keep all your cables together. I would really, really like this part. Here's another example. So if you go look at my channel, youtube.com/Brant Collins, you'll see I did Vlogmas with just my iPhone, and I use this as a Shure microphone, an MV88 video kit. And this microphone is amazing. If I could connect it to something right now, I could use it instead of this microphone, the MV7.
Right.
It's a really, really good microphone.
So, quick question from a man, Melvin Miller here. So, room noise, surrounding noise, proximity, shouldn't that be a larger factor in mic placement and choice?
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on, especially when we're talking about podcasting, right? So if your room isn't treated, if you don't have, if it's a big echoey room, then the microphone placement, isn't going to help as much. Well, it does help with stuff like this microphone because we can get right up on it and we can control that. But yeah, I mean, if you're in a huge echoey room, lapel mic will help take care of some of that. A lot of people will record and I don't know, a lot of people know this, is what you do when you shoot a video or you shoot film is you'll take a microphone and you'll just record the room silent with nothing in it, white noise. And you'll lay that as a track underneath your documentary or your interview just to make it sound more authentic. You can kind of control those levels. But, you know, it does depend on the room. It depends on where you're at. It depends on, you know, if you're in a, let me get a good example. I've done lectures, right? So you're doing a lecture where they're, you know, 200 feet away. You know, you can do a wireless lapel, and sometimes you can't get them to wear it because they're just talking into the stage mic and you don't have access to the board. I've just laid a lapel mic on the podium, and that will do a really good job as well. So it just really depends on the situation.
Love it. Good question. Even better answer. I think that a lot of times people have talked about different microphones, and because of the room noise, having a mic closer to you allows you, like you said, to have a little bit more control. I can get closer to the mic, turn the mic down. The further away I am, I have to turn that mic up, and it will get more of the room noise. Shotgun mic is supposed to be is directional towards you, and it, you know, basically it's going to get everything that's in front of it, depending on what type you get. So I am just want to test something out. I like to shot with the mic. I like to shot without the mic. You know, so
Right.
I want to be versatile.
The cool thing about like this mic, the MV88, is you can actually change the polar pattern with the app, so it can be directional.
Right.
Or you can actually have the left channel come out this side and the right channel come out this way. So if you're actually doing an interview with somebody, it's getting both of you. So I've done that to do a podcast before, you know.
That's cool.
So you can change it to be wide to get the whole room or completely narrow. So
and that's that particular, what model is that again?
It's the MV88 video kit. So with you get the tripod, which is a Manfrotto pod. It says Shure on it, but it's Manfrotto. And so you can put your iPhone. Hold on, let me see here. Let me get my iPhone.
Sounds like I need to have a call out to Laura Davidson.
Yeah. So I would not be afraid to shoot a documentary on this, especially if you have an iPhone 12 that shoots 4K. I mean, audio is the number one thing that you need to do. And one reason I did this is before COVID, you know, I wanted to go to a lot of trade shows. You can actually, you know, change the microphone, point it to your person, do your interviews. You can tune it to yourself, you know, if you're going to do, you know, that kind. If you're going to do, you could change the polar pattern to be like this. So you could talk to, you know, people back and forth. So you could do a lot of different things with it. So it's really, really, really a good setup. You know, I've tried DJIs, I've tried all these different gimbals, but this to me is a game changer. You know, you could do anything that you really need with this.
So definitely shouts out to you. They're saying hello. I'm saying hello right back to you. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We appreciate you, okay? We have, we're talking about microphones, but more importantly, Brant, I think if you're having a live stream, you are, I keeps going back to you're on Zoom. A bunch of people on Zooms, and you want to level up. Like at some point, you got to have the best Zoom that you could possibly have. How can you do that? Audio, as far as creating content, is one of the first things you should be thinking about. And as we've talked today, hopefully you have some more tips on how to get the best out of whatever microphone you could be using right now. Now, of course, you see Brant and I are using the same mic tonight. We're using the Shure MV7, and it definitely has a lot of features and functions, whether you're using an XLR or you're using it as a USB mic connected directly to your computer. You have a little bit more access to the features and functions of this particular microphone when you're using it as a USB mic, but it's really up to you how you use it. So that being said, hopefully this helps. Number one thing in live streaming or creating content online is making sure you have great audio. And I just did that whole bit with Brant Collins.
I was waiting for you to switch. I'm like, switch. So
That's funny. I got to
to
talking. It's
the
like
Ecamm
me and you were
developers
having a
out there,
yeah.
to the Ecamm developers, we have to have some sort of shared controls, because like I could have switched for you at that point. That would be
That's
really
what's
cool to
up.
see.
That's what's up.
You
I
know, and
was just
it's,
on. I was on a roll too, Brand.
you
I
were
was
on a
like,
roll.
man, that's
So one of
good.
the things one thing I will say, so price is always an option, right? I mean, is an issue. So what I will tell everybody right now, in a pinch, the best microphone and headphone set that I would suggest to anybody, and I've done this a lot to some people during, like, everybody's in the clubhouse, and why do you sound this way or sound that way? They've dropped the price to about $20. Go buy a wired iPhone headset with microphone, not the earbuds, because the earbuds, the wireless ones, they're too far away. They don't really sound as good as the wired one that has the microphone sitting right here. I've done podcasts. I've done, interviews. I've done a lot with just that wired. They're down to $20 now, and you can sound just as good as anything. They really are amazing, and they'll work. Stick them in your laptop and use those until you can get a microphone like this. And and microphones can go anywhere from, I wouldn't be afraid. There are some people that say stay away from like the Blue Yetis or all these other. I think they're all really good. It just depends on really what your budget is, how you set them up, how far away they are from you, your room noise. There's a lot of different things that can go into it. So don't think that you can go buy a $3,000 microphone and you sound like a $3,000, Morgan Freeman. That's what I was thinking. $3,000 microphone is not going to make you sound like Morgan Freeman. So, you have to be realistic with your equipment. Same thing with, you look how you look. If you buy a fancy camera, it's not, if you don't set it up right and the lighting's not right, you're probably not going to be happy with that fancy camera.
Oh my goodness. That's probably one of the first lessons I learned in streaming is you can upgrade your camera all day long. If you're not upgrading the glass, you're really missing out. So lenses
that is
can
the
go
truth.
a long way. Lenses can go
glass,
a very long way.
And glass can go from anywhere. My wife is a professional videographer, has lenses that are 30 grand. I mean,
30?
that's, yeah. Like 30, 40. I
Wow.
mean, they're Cine lenses. They're used for filming movies and stuff. So, you can, if you have a camera that has interchangeable lenses, you just started down a path of, spending some money, because there's, you can really change the way your whole video looks, your presentation looks, everything by just changing those cameras, by those lenses.
Yep, you really can. And big shouts out to the blind guy, his wife, their live and their YouTube channel. He's trying to help us out. He says, I just made it, but I'm the first to click the like button. If you are on
There you go. That's what's up.
Yeah, please, thank you for saying that. No matter where you are, if you can click the like button, that does help us in the algorithm, whether that's YouTube or Facebook. So thank you for saying that.
Hey, if you'll pull up Richard's question, I'll show him real quick on
Which
he's asking about a lapel mic.
Yeah. Here we go.
All right. Had to reach around and turn that. So this is actually a Sony lapel mic. Okay, and it has XLR and it goes directly into the board. Now the thing about this microphone is for phantom power, you actually have a AA battery. That's
cool.
These are old. Like, these are super old. I bought them used from somebody else. But I think if you look them up on B&H or anything like that, they're still a couple $100. But I love having a wired lapel mic in my toolkit, because sometimes you just, Wi-Fi wireless and radio signals, you can just get frustrated. You can get buzzing. So these are really, really, it's always good to have one. Rode makes them, I think they make an XLR, lapel, and you can, of course, get adapters to go to XLR. But always try to find, if you are doing this professionally, I would suggest that you have a wired backup for every mic you use, because something will go wrong. And it's easier to just pull out a wired microphone. Your batteries didn't get charged, whatever. There's interference in the room. You can always go to wired.
So one of my media partners for the Strick City show I do on Thursday nights chimed in. Mike, certainly sound good here. Thank you so very much for hanging out with me, Russ. It means a lot, sir. And I have another one. We've just gotten lavalier mics, and embarrassed to say which brand. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't
How
matter.
can you make it sound good? Like, does it sound good? Now, I will tell you this: there's certain brands that we automatically know based off their history sound good, but Brant has already said you can have one of those mics and not know how to use it and not sound good. So definitely keep that going.
Yeah, I mean, you can get, there are inexpensive. I'm the king of trying a cheap microphone. I mean, some of them are so cheap, you just got to try them out, right? I think Rode's always good. Sennheiser is always good. Shure is always good as well. I mean, those three are going to be your, and Lextronics. Those are like the super, super high end. But budget, look at Rode. Next up, maybe Shure, and then go to Sennheiser after that, and then Lextronic after that. Then you get into some really specialty stuff at that point, and you're looking at $1,500 for a microphone. But
right.
That's when you're Michael Jackson, right?
That's when you're Michael Jackson. So
or you're working at that level, that high of a level.
I gotta say this one, and I think she's right. Microphones are like perfumes. The same ones don't work the same for everybody. So each person needs to find the right one for them, which is so very true. And then she made a statement that just makes my heart melt. Everybody would sound good on the SM7B, for instance. If plugged in right, the right conditions, been that SM7B, you just can't go wrong with it, Brent. I'm sorry. You just can't go wrong with that microphone, especially if you're doing a lot of audio stuff, podcasting, all of that. I'm just in love with mine. I just had to show off here for a second.
But that's also comes from that's what you used when you worked in radio. So it's a professional level. You're comfortable with it. Heil makes really good high-end professional, stuff. I mean, there's some other names out there that, if it's made in Germany, it's probably good, but you can spend a Blue Ember. Blue microphones are really, really good. There's one called the Blue Ember that I almost bought. It was like $99, but you can buy a blue microphone that's $3,200, right?
Right, you can.
I don't think that, I look at that like golf, right? I'm not that good at golf, and Tiger Woods should probably buy the $10,000 clubs. I'll just stick with the cheap ones because I'm not that good. And I bet you Tiger Woods could play with the cheap set and do way better than anybody else too. So, or another good example, people shave their body to get faster at swimming. If you're at the level of Michael Phelps, yes, a millisecond counts. Not my overweight person body is not going to make a difference.
You're speed swimming, and it's not going to count anywhere. So
right, and so a lot of times, here's what I'll ask everybody, or I'll tell everybody: is the amount of money going to give you that much more value in the production of your show? So if you buy a $3,000 microphone, is it going to bring you $3,000 worth of value, right? But if that's the microphone you always wanted, if you want an SM7B because you feel like that's your goal, if it makes you happy and you love the sound, go for it. If it's if you sound good and it's a $40 microphone you got on eBay, that's good too. I mean, I think there's too much keeping up with the Joneses, I guess I would say, in a lot of these groups that we're in, right. And everybody's sharing their tech. I got this and I got that. And, I watch YouTubers all the time that their video looks terrible. Their audio looks terrible. They got 1 million followers and they're making way more money than I am, because at the end of the day, it's about the content.
What is it? It's about the content.
The content. Are you not only providing value, maybe entertainment is value. If you're watching this and you're enjoying it, and that's the value. Like I watched, my son and I sat down and watched Concrete Cowboy last night. I got tons of value out of it. It was a beautifully shot movie. The message was great. Everything was awesome. I got value out of that, right? I got so much value out of it that I'm thinking about getting back and becoming a filmmaker, because that's the kind of film I would want to make.
Inspired. Brant
I was
inspired.
But now I'm going to go look up, like, what camera did they use? What microphones did they use?
Right.
But I know, I know that if they used a Arri Alexa, which is a high-end digital filmmaking camera that's $30,000-$40,000, I can't do that. But I also found Blackmagic makes a Pocket 6K camera for $2,500 that get me pretty darn close. But then I got to buy the glass
as well.
Got to buy the glass for that, So, value. Talk about something that's interesting. Give people something to watch. Like you said, whether it's entertaining, whether it's informative, focus more on your content. Like I see Mr. Riley's here. Him and his wife on Friday nights are hilarious.
All right. I'm telling you,
right?
If you're not watching that stuff on Friday night, him and his wife, Mr. Riley, I'll have to say this. His wife is so funny. Your wife is so funny, sir. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter what microphone or camera you're using. It's hilarious.
It's
right?
funny. Funny is funny.
Right? So, but once you get that dialed in, then maybe you can step it up a notch. Here's another good example. I am a big, I can tell I look like, we talked about DMX off the top, right?
Yes, we did.
So, and I'm a big hip hop fan.
Hey, Brant, they don't know who we be.
We don't know who we be. I wanted to be a video producer. I wanted to make music videos. So there's two videos I can think of right off the top. One, Nelly, his very first video, Country Grammar, right?
Okay.
It's shot in St. Louis. It's one camera moving around. He's got all the hood around him, all the cars. That is, to me, is the pinnacle of his video production. As it got bigger, I didn't like him as much because I like that uniqueness. Another one is one of my favorite videos is by a group called The Clips, and it's called Grinding, and it had Pharrell in it. It's just one camera, gritty, who we be. It was one camera, gritty, has some graphics, and then as those videos, they got popular and they got glitzier and everything, I don't like them as much, because it's about that raw content. So, you'll see people all the time have a great show, start stepping up their production game, and then somewhere it gets so glossed over that people don't like it anymore. Right?
It's just too much. What we would say too Hollywood.
Too Hollywood, yeah. Unless you're somebody like Oprah, who has been able to keep the content, right? This is her interview style and the questions and the guests that she has. She's been able to keep that, even though it's really high end now compared to where she was. Right?
Do you think
go back and look at her when she was a.
Go ahead.
Well, look back when she was an anchor, in
it's
TV.
Much different, right? So
yes.
Do you think that for those interviews that she may do in the garden or at someone's home, that they bring in like a boom arm for a camera or something? You think they have big equipment around?
Yes.
Or you think it's really
they probably. So we had Craig Bernie Burns on our podcast, or on the show. I'm sorry, not our podcast. And he actually does some lighting for Oprah. And yes, I've seen some of those sets. There's 50 people, 50 lights, there's booms, there's all kinds of stuff going on. So it's edited. None of it's really live. I'm sure there's people fixing stuff all the time. I mean, it's not, that at that level, you're getting 120%, right? And same thing I've worked around college football. I've not done pro stuff, but I've done college football. There's like high-end 4K cameras, high speed. I did a Razorback game, so they're talking about
Sorry to hear that.
We beat Auburn every time. So you have high-speed internet lines going back to where all places, Birmingham, Alabama. So if you're watching a SEC network show and you're watching all of the replay, the instant replay, the speed, let's go back to that. Let's rewind that. That's all coming real time via fiber network from Birmingham, Alabama. That's a different level from what we're doing, right?
Right.
So you're going to have lag. We have all these things. But we're also $25 a month Ecamm, which makes us look like we're CNN or NBC, and an internet connection. So this is where, for me, this is what excites me about streaming, is the playing field's pretty much been leveled but now you have to really, really work. It's easy to buy the camera. It's easy to buy the microphone.
Right.
It's easy to get Ecamm. It's easy to make overlays. It's easy to buy overlays and to go see, Bradley teaches and buy some stuff, or Alicio and buy some really cool stuff. But now you look cool. What are you going to talk about?
Got to have some content. We go back to that, right? Content. At the end of the day, all the stuff we talk about, lends back to your content. I think we've had a conversation before, and before I say what I want to say, I've been popping this up. Joanna, thanks for hanging out with us today from Paris. Glad you can hang out with us tonight. Yeah. So we always talk about. I've talked about a show that I've watched on YouTube, and the way it's filmed is very similar to what people are doing on Instagram when they have when they invite friends on Instagram. It's not always like the person's head is not always in the center. So the guy is where he needs to be in his shot because he's interviewing people. But the person that he's calling in is just like a radio show. People call in, but you can't control what they look like on the other side. But the content is just so good. People are listening to it like it's a podcast. So, he's got 200,000 subscribers. I think it's more like 230. And, he didn't have any of this.
Well, then you go look the opposite episode. People say, well, I don't want to see the microphone. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Joe Rogan shoots podcast, video, live stream all at the same time and repurposes all of it. Shoots just like we're shooting now. They got their headphones. They got everything. He got $100 million or something from Spotify.
Spotify picked him up.
So I will tell you that if you're worried about your microphone being in the shot, don't worry.
There you go.
So let's talk about that though. So one of the things is, everybody that's watching us has a show, and we talked about Mr. Riley and his wife and how, hilarious they are. And we talked about you interviewing Mr. Phil Gaines and how that, did your show. We talked about Oprah. So interview plays out to your audience is important as well. We had Henny the Business. That was a really great interview for us. So getting Alicio does some great stuff with creators. Got all these really big interviews. So if you're an interview show, guests matter, right? And so I don't care how it looks. If I could get, if I've got Barack Obama and I'm on my iPhone, ain't nobody going to care. I got Barack Obama, right? If I got, whoever the it star is right now, if I get them just with my iPhone and I can get the interview right now and I'm the first to publish it, and I've got good quality questions, that's probably way more important than the audio, the camera, the lighting, right? Access. So, all of this goes into all when you're thinking about your show.
I think that all makes sense. And if you guys need more help with this, please connect with us, inbox us on the stream show on Facebook. Write a comment on the on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, we would love to connect with you and answer any questions about microphone. More importantly, Brandon said it, it's all about your mindset, your content. What are you doing? How are you using it? What's the use case? And let us kind of help level you up through whatever it is that you're dealing with. Sometimes it's good to have some people you can throw some ideas off of, just like Richard today asking questions, and we were able to help. That being said, as content creators, the other thing you really, really want to focus on is monetization. Did I say that word right, Brent? I put maybe one or two more syllables in it. You want to be monetized.
You did. You put a few other.
Yeah, you want to be monetized, and you could do that day one, just like the stream show. And we're going to talk about one of the ways you could do that. Brent, you've actually shared this past week some of the new advancements of Buy Me a Coffee, and I want you to talk about some of the things they're doing new that we can help people with today.
So I actually put our link to Buy Me a Coffee in the comment. So if you want to support us and support the show, you can click on that link. But Buy Me a Coffee is great. They opened up a couple of things. So what they did is they did tier memberships. So Buy Me a Coffee, like competitor would be Patreon or anything else. It's super simple. Get your page, sign up, set your level amounts, connect it to your Stripe account or your PayPal account, and people can give you money. And I think a lot of it is, I'm a big NPR listener every morning. So it's no different than NPR saying, hey, if you like the content that we provide and you like us to keep doing it, please donate. And people can do that from $3 to however much they want to give you. But the great thing is they opened up memberships. So you can be a member, and maybe members can get specific kinds of things. And that was like one price. But now they offered tiered levels. So tiered level pricing is really cool. So you might only get, let's say, tier 1 for $5 a month, you get certain kinds of posts. Tier 3, you're getting a one-on-one session. I'll go to let me share my screen real quick, and we'll look at, hold on, I got to switch here. All right, so this is mine that I've set up for myself.
I love it too, Brant. It looks so good, man. You did a great job with that.
At some point, I'm going to have my show's going to start, so I did all that themed around that. So as you can see here, there's some people. Our buddy Rob Balasabas gave me some coffee. You can set your goals right here. So like my goal is I want to get that adjustable workbench that Henny the business had. So it's like $300. So I'm trying to raise the money for that. But the cool thing is you can it's a blog, so you can post. So here is a new project that I'm working on. I'm doing some streaming for a local urban farm, and you can see, you can share your pictures, and it says, hey, you can support this. But you can also, the people that are following you, you can message them directly. So here is, just some articles that I shared, so you could support that. And let me see if I can go to, I'm not signed in, but you can actually go to, one of the cool things is when you make a post, it'll let you share a YouTube video, but there's a little section that's highlighted that's grayed out. It says it's coming soon, is they're going to offer podcasting. So you could host your podcast here, and then people could just pay for you to listen to your podcast. And so the other things it has, you can do digital offers. If you want to set up an event, you want to set up a Zoom call, all of that can be monetized. So if you have something, you want to share a digital file, a movie, whatever, you could share it through there and people could pay you directly. And I think that's just like cuts out all of the crap. I'm a WordPress developer. I've developed sites forever. I had my own personal blog forever. I actually rerouted my brantcollins.com to this page right here, and I attached it to my Google Analytics so I can see all the data that's coming to this, because it's just easy. It just it's not complicated. And sometimes the complications of making it look good or doing a website to make, all the posts perfect gets in the way of creating. And this, I felt like Buy Me a Coffee would just let me create more.
I like it, Brant. Very well done. Very well done. I have to work on that myself. Now you've shown me the way, Brant.
I have shown you the way.
You've shown me the way. So I can appreciate that.
And here's the challenge. You want to make money. There's nothing stopping. You don't have to have 10,000 followers. You don't have to have 4,000 watch hours. You can start today, start offering value, and people can donate to you. But you still have to ask. I think the other thing you have to do is you have to ask, just like we do here. Said, hey,
just like we do here.
Yeah, and sometimes it's goals like, hey, I want to buy a new microphone. Hey, I want to do this. Hey, I'm trying to raise money for that. And another thing I want to let people know is don't be afraid to ask, because what we do is important. It takes time out of your schedule, right? Right. DJ works 3 or 4 hours a day on this show, getting guests line up and everything together. We're missing family time and dinner time. And it's important to know that we're streaming for a purpose and we're trying to help people, but we also want to try to make money and keep it going, because we all want to get more gear or spend more time getting better guests, or all that kind of good stuff. So don't be afraid to ask for money. Exactly. It's kind of the way, and it's micropayments, $3, $5, $60, whatever people can afford. It all helps.
And if you don't have it, you'll be like me, kicking yourself that I've had one of my largest videos that I've ever had, could not monetize it. Did not monetize it. Yeah.
So we were going to have to work on that tomorrow. You better get that built out.
Yeah, we're going to work on that. So while we're here,
switch to you so we can see you on screen too.
You can't see me on screen now?
Oh, can you? Oh, I'm sorry. I got my Ecamm pulled up. There
There
we
you
go.
go. So, um, we
Tony
have a
has a question
question.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go to that, man. I love it when we're in sync, brother. I absolutely love it when we're in sync. So Tony's got a question. He's got his new M1 Mac Mini, and with a 2 monitor setup, what can I do with my setup by adding my 2018 MacBook Pro? That's a good question. And his iPad, what could he do?
Well, okay. So one of the things you could do is you could take the iPad. Okay. Let's start with the MacBook Pro. You could take the MacBook Pro, and you could do the video out of your MacBook Pro and get you a video input device. Those little USB devices, Camlink, or I use the little cheap Amazon ones. Now could be another source. So, and what I'm doing right now is I have a Mac One M1 Mini that's running my Ecamm. I'm using virtual camera as a guest with DJ Strick, but I have a PC that I game on that is my source. It's just a video source that I use to show screens. So when I was showing Buy Me a Coffee, that's just another source coming out of a PC, which you could do with your MacBook Pro, which will take a little bit of stress off of your Mac Mini. I know the Mac Mini can handle it, but it's just easier to have two sources. Then you could take your iPad and probably download Stream Decks software, and you could use the iPad to switch your cameras. You could use it as a source too if you had the FireWire to HDMI or a USB 3, whichever iPad you have to get that video out. I think you could do NDI, right?
You can do NDI. You sure can.
So you could do NDI from the iPad. Mm-hmm. The iPad could be a source. Let's see. I have.
I recommend if you're ever using any external web pages. So at one point we were doing some TubeBuddy reviews on the channel, YouTube channel reviews, and coming in as an NDI from my iPad worked a whole lot better than me trying to go to that from my actual browser while I was streaming at the same time. So there you go.
Yeah, and it's not showing up now because I would have to restart Ecamm or whatever, but you could actually, this can be a source. So this could be a camera, so your iPad or your iPhone. So maybe maybe use your iPad as if you're doing unboxing videos, maybe you mount it, do a top-down shot. Maybe it's a second camera, maybe it's a different view. Maybe it's just like sometimes we do is we use to show our setups, right? You're showing it like this. So you got a lot of, value there. In all those devices. So the biggest thing for me is so instead of looking at all the, having your one computer do all that, you could have the MacBook Pro. Let's say you have a Keynote address and you're going to do a picture-in-picture and show, or my show that I'm going to do, I'm going to cover news or tech and some other things. If you want to reference a website, if you want to make a PowerPoint, you want to make over-the-shoulder graphics, you could do that with a MacBook. What he said.
So Tony is showing out tonight. Tony knows exactly how to use this stuff. So he's got his MacBook Pro he used as a source, his iPad Stream Deck software he used to switch cameras, NDI, external web pages. Thank you so much, extra camera from above. So I guess he's just talking about all the stuff. He's taking notes.
Yeah, he was taking notes.
Tony. Yeah, there you go. There you go, Tony.
Tony's got it. He's got more stuff.
Listen. Yeah, so this is what the stream show is all about. It's an opportunity to help people level up, and I'm telling you, I may not know a doggone thing, but Brant Collins knows. Brett knows how to do.
I know a little bit.
So we got another one. My iPhone 6 Plus or something. Sometimes the 5 with my top-down second camera when I do unboxing. That is, you know what? My opinion, Brant, it is my opinion, okay? A top-down view, when you're looking at your hands or an object, I don't know that I need to have a high-dollar camera to do that. It is my opinion. I mean, your phone could do it. iPhone 7 has 4K on the phone, the camera that faces away. It's a 4K camera.
I'm shooting this right now with a Lumix G7. I could shoot in 4K, but I'm not going to stream in 4K, just because I don't really have the internet speed to do that. So sometimes it's just overkill for live streaming. If you can do 1080p, you're golden. I've watched our show on a big screen TV, and it looks amazing. It looks great. If your lighting's right, your audio's right, it's all going to be great. Doesn't matter if it's an iPhone. Use what you have. Make that extra money. Get you the buy me a coffee to level up to that next camera and earn it, right?
Right.
It's the minimal viable product is what a lot of people say. What's the minimal amount you can spend to get a product that you're happy with, right?
I like it.
And then go up from there. If you want to make money, if you've got an unlimited budget, if you like to spend, you like to pay all those credit card bills, or you're just independently wealthy, then buy whatever you want. I don't have that luxury.
Right. And I'm sure the quality is great. I really am sure the quality is great from a top-down view using a phone. I'm with you on
I know
that.
it is.
And
Yep.
Chris, man, DJ, thanks for coming to hang out with us. So
DJ Mastermind.
now that you're here, we're going to end the stream. You got to watch the replay. It's good to hang out with you. Thanks for coming through no matter what time you come through, sir. It's always a pleasure to have you hanging out with us. Brent, so we talked about microphones. We talked about how you can level up with the mics, whatever you have. And we talked about how you can be monetized day one using Buy Me a Coffee and the evolution of Buy Me a Coffee opening up to do blog post. I think
Blog
that is
post?
super cool.
Podcasts coming pretty soon. I know a lot of people are probably listening. They're in, they're doing Clubhouse. They're doing all these different, different things. Things are changing every day. Whether it be, I'm still trying to get on LinkedIn Live. I actually got to one of the heads of LinkedIn, messaged me, but then he ghosted me. So I'm still trying to get it on that.
Wow.
So it's changing every day. You got to keep up,
That's what's up. So, guys, I want to say thank you so very much for hanging out with us tonight. We started the stream show with 10 weeks of guests. All right. We did guests every week and multiple guests on each show. And we wanted to take a couple of shows to actually talk and share some of our wisdom, more like me asking Brant Collins questions. like when I want to show off your knowledge, I always use your first and last name. I don't know why. I don't call you Brant. I say Brant Collins when I want to let people know how smart you are. But there's a lot of information we have. Our goal is really simple. We want to help streamers succeed in whatever you're doing. So Tony talked about he's doing a live stream for sports karate, and so he thinks that the information here is going to help him. So thank you so very much for checking us out, and we hope it does help.
I want to see that one. I'm a black belt myself in Aikido.
Are you for
Aikido.
real?
I'm Aikido.
Did I not tell you?
I'm a black belt in Aikido. I've done lots of karate, judo. I'm self-teaching myself Filipino martial arts because my grandfather was from the Philippines. So, Tony, I'm all into the martial arts stuff. I spend way too much time on YouTube watching martial arts videos. So if you need any help, just let me know. You can message me. I'll put it in the well, you can just go to the streamshow.live, message us there, or just leave your email or something here. But I think we follow each other on Facebook. Just direct message me, and I would love to learn more about the karate stuff. I just kind of one of my passions. So,
hey, Brant, did I tell you that I have a black belt as well?
Do you really?
No, I don't.
Yeah, you got a black belt. You got a brown belt. You got a black belt.
Well, the black belt that I have
probably
is brown
reversible.
On the other side. It's reversible. Yeah. You buy one belt and you got two colors. Why would you buy a second belt? You got one. It's okay.
Let me tell you, somebody said this the other day. I was on these Facebook posts like, tell me a secret that nobody would know. So I'm going to tell you a secret, or not a secret, and tell you something about me that you would never guess. You ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
I was a licensed heavyweight boxer in the state of Arkansas.
No way.
Yep.
No way. How long did that last, Brant? 2
2 matches.
Two matches.
I did a tough. No, I lost on decision both times, but I stood in the ring and I took my licks and did a tough man contest. It was something I just felt like I had to try. So that'll be
Hey,
another
Brant, you are
story.
a tough guy. All right, I believe that. I really
I notice I'm
believe
getting
that.
a little blurry here too, so I guess my
Yeah,
connection is going out.
that's pretty cool. We learned something about Brant Collins today, and you guys had a chance to hang out with us. We thank you so very much. The stream show, we're doing it Sunday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're in Central Time, of course, that's 6 p.m. We will see you guys next week. We have another show lined up where we are going to continue to help you succeed. Brant, man, it's been a wonderful night, sir.
It's been great. And one of the things I would like to really, really ask everybody right now is just listening to the Pat Flynn audiobook about super fans. One of the things he always asked was to ask everybody. So I'm going to ask you directly, the super fans, the people that are watching us. I've seen you guys every week for the last 12 weeks. What would you like to see more from us? What could help you? What can we bring to you of value? So message us on Facebook, let us know if you want to know something, you have questions. Where would you like our show to be?
So you're going in and out, Brant, just a little bit. So it's got pixelated, and you were going in and out, but I did get most of that. And for everybody, just want to reiterate: if you do, Brent is right. Like, how can we help you? Like, what do you want to see from our show? We want to know from the people that are supporting us what we could do to help you. So both of us are on Facebook. You can inbox us, and we would love to hear from you guys. Right, Brant?
Yep, that's it. I think I'm losing my stream, so we're out.
Okay, before Cinderella goes away here, we're going to end the stream. So thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight.